Hey Truth Warriors, and welcome to another video from aplaintruth.info. Today we are seeing Hawaii, Honolulu Bay, the North Shore, just getting pummeled with record rains coming out of nowhere.
Okay, we're a few seconds in and he's already lying right to your faces, guys. This is not footage of Hawaii. This is actually old footage of Taiwan, of a tsunami in Taiwan. And the reason I know this is because YouTube told me this when they copyrighted this section of video clip because it comes from Taiwan. Good morning, Taiwan.
Mostly hitting only the North Shore and massively flooding those people where a declared emergency, state of emergency has been declared for the area, but it was fairly isolated and not as bad on the other islands. Again, the geoengineering at work. And I'm being sent pictures from some wonderful activists from around the country. And these were sent to me just recently by DEBUNKed. Everywhere. And you can clearly see that there's anomaly.
Wait, what? What? You just jumped from just typical aerial footage of monsoon rainfall, and then you immediately jump into proof, case closed, proof positive of directed energy weapons and fake sun simulators based on an image of just clouds in the sky?
But I want to get into the sun simulators again. Patti Daile has done some incredible work on forensics on sun simulators. We'll get into it in a little bit.
Okay, Patti Daile has done forensics. So we're going to deeply analyze these forensics, this forensic analysis, and this forensic proof. We're going to see just how conclusive it really is.
And seeing that these artificial suns are real, we have the patents, we have documentation going on.
These artificial suns, a photograph of the sun along with some nanoparticulate spherical cirrus cloud cover, which is iridescent, of course, because it's mostly nanoparticulate cloud cover. And even if it wasn't, even if it was some type of, vapor, cloud cover, cirrus cloud cover, it's still going to be iridescent due to, the refraction of light. But it's mostly because these are nanospherical particulate from manufacturing and smelting and things like that, and as well as geoengineering, chemtrail as well. But so that proves that it's a fake sun.
We have the patents, we have documentation.
Okay, we have the patents, we have documentation of the fake sun simulator. So let's see those patents here in this video, as I'm sure he's going to show it.
Everywhere. Look at this picture, folks. That's the sun simulator you're seeing.
That's the sun simulator? That looks like a photo of the sun to me, surrounded by a halo of nanospherical particulates, which provides an iridescent glow from the cirrus cloud cover of iridescent nanoparticulates in the atmosphere. That's the fake sun simulator? What's your evidence for that?
And she has broken it down using photo forensics to show it is actually a device.
Using photo forensics. Let's see what kind of photo forensics.
And an actual machine up there. First, I want to give you a little background on the sun simulators and what we're seeing in the sky.
An actual machine up in the sky? In the atmosphere? How does that work? By what possible mechanism could there be a machine up in the atmosphere? Is it in space? Is it in the stratosphere? Is it attached to the dome of the flat Earth? That beams directed energy weapons from the firmament, from the glass dome? What mechanism do you have to show that there is a machine just floating magically up in the sky?
Being reported all over the world, but there's these devices being put up, and they probably are likely cube satellites, which I'll get into at the end. But thanks again for Patti and the others for the
cube satellites are now providing fake sun simulations. Cube satellites simulating the sun. Are these cube satellites, are these the real cube satellites? The ones that you flat earthers, that you yourself, A Plain Truth, are claiming that don't exist? Or that is the space doesn't exist, that there are no satellites, which claims are you sticking to here? It's like, now you're proclaiming that sun simulators are cube satellites, and in all the other videos and all the other flat earth models, they're claiming that there are no satellites, that satellites are all fake, that space is fake. You know, which one is it? Which model are you proposing here?
Okay, so they want to launch a CubeSat grid, or a CubeSat constellation into the orbit. And, CubeSat, that's not very obvious. For those of us that know our symbolism and know about the cult of Saturn and the black cube of Saturn, which is everywhere, the black cube of the Kaaba stone of Mecca, the black cubes all over these major corporations. The cube of Apple, the Apple Store is the cube, Sega Saturn, Nintendo GameCube, etc., etc. Just cube of Saturn, the black cube that the Orthodox Jews wear on their foreheads. On and on and on. The black cube of Saturn, the Allspark cube. It's everywhere you look. So they want to launch this CubeSat grid. It's funded and sponsored by the World Bank. Hello, the World Bank. Look at the sponsors. And next. So they are foretelling a global catastrophe to wipe out internet and cell networks, and replacing it with this new one world indoctrination cube satellite grid. So what happened, quote, and I'm going to quote from the article, what happens when the next Hurricane Katrina or Hurricane Sandy deploys or destroys cellular networks? In times of natural disaster or conflict, Outernet still works and will prioritize disaster updates. No one should face crisis without access to updated information. With Lantern, continuously updated information is always available. Where do I even start breaking this down? Let's look at the logos of these sponsors. We're going to look at the logos. Okay, you've got Clyde Space, which their logo is the logo of Saturn with the cube of Saturn orbiting the rings of Saturn. You've got R&W, which is the Illuminati colors of the red and the blue, which is astrotheology, the winter and the summer, the Republican, the Democrat, the left and the right, the day and the night, the dual aspects, the black and the white aspects of the color symbolism of the Illuminati, the red and the blue. Look at it everywhere. It's in the Pepsi logos. It's on all the flags. It's everywhere. It's the red pill versus the blue pill, the right wing versus the left wing. It's the old duality, and it's the problem, reaction, solution. That's what is going on here. They are showing you, they're foreshadowing this global catastrophe that's going to wipe out the cellular network. So they want to implement this outer net in place to have a new internet system up and running, which is purely controlled by the World Bank and purely controls what information gets out to the people. And they're open sourcing this so anyone can have access to be able to build one of these lantern, which is in the lantern devices, which is in the shape of the black monolith of 2001, the black moon Lilith, monolith, moon of Lilith, black moon Lilith, the black cube symbolism, the black monolith from 2001, Space Odyssey. So it's in the very shape itself, if that's not obvious enough of a dead giveaway. But so they want everyone to have open source access to be able to build one of these. They obviously want everyone to have one, and it's under the guise of places that have never had access to open information ever before in history now have access to libraries, media, news, information. So in other words, they want the poorest countries, not just the United States, to be indoctrinated with the mass media, the lies, the propaganda, and the bullshit, the false flags. They want the world to be able to have access to this information. They want the poorest country, the poorest people in Africa and in India, the most rural cultures, to be able to have access to the indoctrination, to the propaganda. And so that's why they're pushing so hard for this to be implemented on a global scale. And so while it's obviously very crucial and important, and I completely couldn't agree more that what the world needs most is unlimited access to free, abundant, uncensored information, that is not what this actually is. If you read between the lines here, if you look deeper into the symbols, into what read between the lines here, it's right in front of your face. This is not going to be uncensored and unlimited free access to information, which is what the world really does need. You can text message our plans for the content that we want uploaded to Outernet. How we decide what gets broadcast. The core archive is a collection of content selected by Outernet because of its importance to humanity. This will include news, educational content, indoctrination, propaganda, and disaster updates. Which is double speak for fear-mongering.
In the course of your lifetime, how much information have you consumed? From educational material to entertainment, music, art, news. What if all of that was just gone? What if the internet did not exist? Can we even comprehend our lives today without this wealth of information? In 2012, just 35.5% of people on Earth had access to the internet. That means nearly 2/3 of humanity could not enter this enormous library. Let's think of it another way. Take the entire population of North America, South America, Europe, and Oceania, 4 continents, and let's throw in Indonesia, Japan, and both Koreas. Now, double it. That many people in the dark, spread out across the world. Now imagine if tomorrow, the lights came on. What if there were a way to broadcast the most valuable information from the web to the entire world from space for free? Any language, any format, available everywhere. What would people choose? What would people read about if their governments no longer deprive them of their right to free information? How many dark patches of our history could have been avoided if we had just known more? How many can we avoid in the future? What would that world look like? What new inventions could be created or diseases cured? What could our species accomplish? There are inflection points in our history that change humanity's course forever. Universal information access is one such event. What if there were a library in every village? A library in every home? A library in every pocket? Can you even imagine that world? You no longer need to just imagine. Outernet.
But thanks again for Patti and the others for the activists and sending this to us. All right, let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
Photograph, a hexagon appeared in the upper left-hand corner. He didn't notice this
Oh
hexagon
wow,
until...
look at that, guys. This rock formation here is clearly a giant Nephilim. Look at that man's face. He is a giant Nephilim. Is that Joe Biden? That's Joe Biden petrified into this ancient cliff structure. That is Joe Biden. That is proof positive of a petrified Joe Biden Nephilim. Case closed.
Noticed this hexagon until many weeks after the fact.
Wait, that's your proof? So this photo here is nothing more, that's nothing more than Photoshop, guys. This is their evidence of a fake sun simulator in the sky. That is nothing more than the photo of these mirrored array that they just simply photoshopped into this image and made it translucent to where it looks like it's part of the natural photo.
Fact. There was no...
And let me show you exactly how they do this.
Weeks after the fact, there was no direct sunlight involved in the photograph that could create maybe a lens ray or a glare It was just a simple photograph, and this hexagon appeared in the sky. He sent it to me to look at. I kind of compared it to the sun simulator because it does have similarities.
Yeah, exactly. See, there you go. You're faking these videos by taking this image on the right and simply photoshopping it into the image on the left.
But we don't know for sure what we're dealing with here. It almost looks like there's two, if you look.
Yeah, we don't know what we're dealing with here, guys, so therefore let's draw the conclusion, the false conclusion that it's a fake sun simulator.
At it real close, you can see an outline of one here to the left, and then one down here just off center, a few degrees to the right. Whether it is two or not, I have no idea. But either way, it's kind of neat. Don't know what it is, but it does have an uncanny resemblance to the sun simulator. And
I'll show you how I can do it. So you go to NASA's website, you look up what they intended to invent this sun simulating satellite for. The intended purpose was to simulate some of the harshest conditions space has to offer to learn what extreme temperatures can do to flight hardware as it nears the sun. To fly aboard an upcoming European Space Agency mission in this facility to test the thermal balance before the instrument is on its way to Mercury.
Welcome to the world, 2116. You can fly across town in minutes, or across the globe in under an hour. Whole communities are living on Mars, and solar satellites provide Earth with unlimited clean power. In less than a century, Boeing took the world from seaplanes to space planes, across the universe and beyond. And if you thought that was amazing, you just wait.
Solar satellites, so basically reflecting the sun's source of light, energy, warmth back onto the surface of the Earth.
So you take the image from NASA, and we take our image of the sky, or our video footage, whatever you want to, however you want it, whatever you want to fake. So here it is, guys. This is the end result. This is how easy it was. What I did was I just took a bicycle reflector and I added a little bit of a blur effect. I added a specific filter to and a little bit, just enough blur, and then I added just enough clone stamping over transparent clone stamping and added a little bit of saturation to brighten the shine, and added a little bit of a glow effect, brought a little bit more and added some more of a Gaussian blur, a bilateral blur, and ended up making it, my version is on the left, the original version is on the right, and I made it absolutely identical in just a few quick minutes. When if you look at it, we don't know what we're dealing with here, because obviously we don't have full context. And with full context, you need to consider the fact that these people are just simply lying to you. They're photoshopping fake images so that they can make these ridiculous clickbait sensational videos that people just gobble right up without even thinking twice, without even questioning what the people's motives for making these videos is, which this is Photoshop, this is fake imagery. They're faking this to trick you, to deceive you. This is disinformation.
Are you seeing that, Q?
Yeah, it looks like you
see that? Right in the middle of the sun.
Yeah, it looks like you literally put that into your video in post-editing, in post-production. Or it looks like some sort of solar filter that's literally only covering the center. It looks like literally anyone could add this in post-production. Like, let me show you how I can make this effect on my computer. Let me show you how to do it. So I'm really excited about this one because I wasn't expecting to find this, but I wasn't satisfied with the answers that were being given. And so the way I do my good research is I go and look something up, not by looking for my confirmation bias. See, what most of you guys would do to verify something like this is you would go look up something like black spot in front of the sun and you go type that in, and you would go, first thing is you would probably go to all the videos on YouTube, which would lead you right back into the same recursive confirmation bias loop of videos that are all putting out the same type of content like this without actually getting to the root answers of what they're actually looking at or what is actually happening. And so what I do is I went and looked for the exact opposite of what, I didn't want to confirm, which was I didn't want to go directly back to YouTube videos and just getting that same, echo chamber of people just thinking, filming these things in front of the sun and claiming that it's all sorts of things. So I went and I found that I typed in black spot in front of the sun, and what I found out is that there's actually this effect called black sun effect in some digital cameras, such as the Canon EOS, I think it is, such as this one, the Blackmagic Cinema camera, and some of these digital cameras, they produce this black dot, and it's known as the black sun effect. One very common and frustrating issue that most filmmakers eventually face is the black sun effect. If you've ever experienced this issue, you know just how annoying it can be to review your otherwise perfect looking footage, only there's a big black hole right in the middle of the shot. Most often this artifact is as a result of extreme overexposure from the brightness of the sun or any other extreme overexposure. It basically punctures a hole in the frame, essentially, digitally. Hence why it's so common when pointing your camera at the sun. There you have it, guys. So you just gotta look, do a little bit of research, and not look for your own confirmation bias. You gotta look outside of what you are wanting to confirm, and you will get all the answers. Usually you will get much more thorough and much more sensible answers.
And of course, that's some sort of camera malfunction or whatever to the effect. The problem is, it was only able to capture this on certain days in June and July, and then again last week, it came back.
The center of the overexposed portion of your image will simply clip to black as opposing to clipping to white, which inevitably leaves an ugly mark on your footage. This is exactly what it does. There you have it, mystery solved, guys. 100% fake sun simulator effect of the videos completely debunked, completely explained. Not all cameras will have this issue. In fact, most don't suffer this problem, but some digital cameras are prone to it and need to be handled carefully in post to get rid of the problem. You can use DaVinci Resolve and other such things. There you have it, mystery.
Other than that, he couldn't capture it at all.
Okay, so it only happens one time? So then how is that proof of anything? So okay, if you can't repeat the results of the experiment or whatever you're observing, if you can't repeat it using the same conditions, the same camera, the same time, the same location, the same variables, if you control for all those variables, you repeat the experiment, you do it again, how would that prove that the sun is fake and that the earth is flat? And that these are directed energy weapons? Like, how does that prove anything if this is an anomaly? You can't repeat it, you couldn't show it over and over again. How is it proof of anything if it just randomly happened one time? Unless it's somebody literally just editing their footage in post-production to lie to you, to deceive your faces.
But look at this. Not only did he catch it again, but he caught it reflecting in the water as well. I've never seen this before, and I'm going to say you probably haven't either. In the water, but he also catches it in the sky simultaneously.
What is that video? Planet X, Nibiru, Wormwood, Sun Filter, Chemtrails. It's all of those? It's Planet X, Nibiru, Wormwood, Sun Filter, and Chemtrails? all at once, simultaneous. That's like that's the mega sensational clickbait keyword search phrase SEO optimization for just total clickbait I've ever seen. That's the ultimate clickbait compilation
in the
type.
water, but he also catches it in the sky simultaneously.
It's because they work for, alphabet agencies, trying to make you look bad, trying to discredit you, so no one listens and no one gets on your bandwagon. Look at this. Look at the shape of this. That is so unnatural. Watch as we get a little further into the video. Watch the shape of this thing. This thing, it changes shape while I'm videotaping it. Meaning they're adjusting it. It just rose. It's only been in the air for about 20 minutes. So every time it makes landfall over the oceans, they don't care over the oceans. There's not many people seeing it. As it makes landfall, they have to do adjustments.
As it makes landfall over the oceans? What? Are you talking about the sun? Or are you talking about the fake sun simulator? How does the fake sun simulator just magically float in the air if the flat earthers believe that there isn't even any gravity there's no mechanism. What's the mechanism that you're proposing that the fake sun simulator is a false fake light in the sky that magically floats around in circles above the flat earth? Like, how do you propose that even works? You don't even have a proposition or a hypothesis of a proper working model of how this fake sun simulator is floating around above the surface of the flat earth.
Simulator is, and it just all looks fake. That looks like CGI, man.
That looks like CGI. That's how we know it's real, because it looks so fake, right?
I'm going to take you through a step-by-step process on this one. We've all seen, most of us have seen this little black dot in the sun before. Okay. I'm going to pause it right there. As you can see, it's got two black dots. So what I did was I took a snapshot of this and I did some photo analysis with it.
So here's the forensic photo analysis, guys.
Alright, well here's the snapshot that I enlarged using...
That's the forensic photo analysis right there.
But let's take a look at what these things look like when they're ran through the forensics. Okay, as you can see, there's the two dots, and I'm doing my photo forensics here. Now, what I want you to see, actually when I saw it, it kind of blew my mind a little bit, because I most definitely saw something. Okay, now, so I enlarged it. What I want to show you is the next image down below, right here. Okay, now, actually if I hover my mouse over it, you'll see the same thing. Look at that. See that square? See that? The round circle?
No, I don't.
Look at that.
I don't see anything.
I'll show you the one below. I can do this.
There's nothing there. What are you talking about? This is a waste of our time.
Hold on. I'd like to have stuff out of the way. Okay.
Yeah, you're not showing anything.
So
you're wasting
obviously,
our time.
this is definitely an object.
There's nothing there.
Okay? It's very straight lines and angles.
What are you talking about?
And another one up here.
That's a black screen.
As you can see, look at that.
What?
What do you think this is, guys? Can't see it there. It's in front of the sun. Okay?
There's nothing there. It's a black screen.
But you can definitely see the outline of some sort of perhaps cubed satellite.
Okay, let's turn the brightness up. Okay, let's turn the brightness up. There we go. Now that I turn the brightness up, I can see what she's trying to point out.
So here's what I did. I I took that snapshot and I enlarged it. Now look at this. When I hover my little mousey over it,
Your mousey? You hovered your mousey over it.
it actually takes on a 3D effect.
A 3D effect. Okay, no guys, what that is called artifact remnants from what is called Jpeg compression. So anytime you take an image or a Jpeg file and you compress that file, or you reshare it or you crop it and you screenshot it and then you enlarge it and you enlarge the screenshot, that compression of the Jpeg file, it loses its quality and resolution. It loses its clarity, and that's what's called a Jpeg compression artifact. Let me show you what Jpeg compression does to an image.
Okay, I'm going to zoom in on the Earth in Photoshop. Image, adjust, levels, and I'm going to bring the levels up. Uh-oh. What is that? Why is there a square box around the Earth allegedly taken from the scientists on the moon in Apollo 17? And people wonder why I don't trust NASA. That's why I don't trust NASA. I mean, they're always out there saying...
wait a second, mate. Wait. Hold on a second, let me get my mouse. Let's quickly create a new image. Let's make it 3000 by 3000 pixels, 72 pixels per inch. Let's do a deep fake. Let's fake our own pale blue dot. That's not a dot. You gotta hold shift to make it perfectly circular. Don't make that mistake next time, globalists. Oh, look, that's some shine. That's an ocean. Oh, that's the land we all live on. That's exactly what Ptolemy's map looked like. So, if we were to do this adjustment right here with the image levels, turn it all the way up, you'll see that there's no, nothing goes up. Nothing goes up at all. Wow, look. If only they'd properly cut the Earth out, NASA could have gotten away with it if it weren't for those meddling Photoshop users. Let's save it as a JPEG, and let's make it medium compression. So this is like an average amount of JPEG compression for an image on the internet. Now, let's quickly open up our untitled 1.jpg in Photoshop ourselves. Now let's turn the levels up. Oh my god! Oh my god! It's a fake Earth picture that wasn't cut out properly. It's JPEG compression, you fucking idiot. Okay, I'm already incredibly bored of this documentary.
Look at that. I mean, you can see it all. Let's go down here so I can print it.
Yeah, that's simply JPEG compression. That's JPEG compression artifact.
I mean, it's like a 3D. You can clearly see this is a device.
No, it's not.
It's a satellite. It's a cube satellite.
No, it's not, sweetie. No, it's not. I'm sorry to break it to you, but that is simply JPEG compression artifact of the file. Of a very poor quality image file. That's what that is. It's JPEG compression artifact. I'm sorry.
Look at that. You can even see how it was made. Unbelievable. Look at this. From that.
You can see how it was made?
Look over there. It makes it more of a 3D. Look at that. That's 3D, guys.
That's 3D.
This is why I always suggest people run pictures through photo forensics. Alright? Because you'll be surprised at what you see, but this is incredible.
Yeah, that those apps and those programs are meant to highlight JPEG compression and low quality image files to trace for artifacts of Photoshop in images, to tell who has faked a photo, who has faked an image by determining the amount of JPEG compression around an artifact that is photoshopped into an image.
This is probably one of the most unique things I have found. Okay, well, here's a little bit of a different perspective.
Well, that's pretty sad then, because you've found literally absolutely nothing. You have proof of nothing here. This is absolutely nothing but JPEG compression artifact.
Perspective. Okay. I changed the colors from that. I'm sorry. Gotta get everything lined up. From that to this. And I tried playing with the colors, but there is no color. Now, you can clearly see. I hope you can see what I'm seeing.
I don't see it.
But that's a device.
No, it's not.
That's one of the cube satellite.
No, it's not, girl. You can repeat it all you want. That doesn't change it from being JPEG compression artifact.
You mean, anybody care to explain this one to me?
Yes, I just did.
Okay. When all it did was started out from.
But you're probably not gonna listen, are you? You're probably not going to even watch this video. You're probably just going to deny it and just put your head in the sand and not even acknowledge the fact that it's JPEG compression.
You will know I captured this image.
Nice.
Now, I'm going to enlarge it. And you're going to see.
Oh, am I?
What I see.
Oh, am I?
We're going to take a look at this.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
I'm going to enlarge it so much.
Okay.
It's not going to fit the entire screen, so we'll move it around.
Enlarge it all you want.
Okay.
Still
now,
gonna lose compression.
look at all this.
Still gonna lose
solar simulators. There's one here at Google Patents. It goes back to 1960. The idea has been around for a long time, quite possibly even farther back than 1960. It's a diagram of a solar simulator patented back in April of 1966.
And we're going to go over to here and we're going to look at this patent and bring it up to size. And if you'll notice, you'll see in here, here's these stanchions or supporting bars, which possibly could be what we're seeing actually in the video that was done by Patti daile.
No, that's not what we're seeing. That's not what we're seeing. What we're seeing is JPEG compression artifact from poor resolution of a screenshot of a photo that is enlarged and then screenshotted and then enlarged again and continually enlarged and loses resolution with compression and compression and compression for a JPEG file.
And in her forensics investigation, see the pipes going across here? Let's take a look at that again and see how that matches up.
Okay, this is the black dot in front of the sun. What do you think that is?
JPEG compression artifact.
I think that's a device.
No, it's not.
Look at this. You can see the 3D, right? I can't zoom it in anymore. But let's take a look at this. Again, I will post my last video in the description box below, because you're going to need to watch that first. But here you can...
Really? Why? What for? What do I need to watch that first for? I'm already wasting time watching this because you can't understand what JPEG compression is.
Clearly see. These are like pipes and, whatever.
No, they're not.
This is definitely...
No, it's not.
A square object in front of the sun.
No, it's not.
No, I don't know what all this stuff is.
That's JPEG compression noise from distortion of a poor resolution, poor quality resolution image. A JPEG compression file that creates distortion in the resolution, especially when you blow it up and it's just a screenshot of a low quality image.
But I'm looking at all that. Okay, that's just the edge of the picture. That's nothing down here. Okay, so let's take a look over here.
No, what's over there? More nothing?
I mean, it looks like plumbing pipes. Alright, look at this. I mean, you can actually see shadows.
You have no idea what you're looking at.
See the 3D effect on this.
Alright, how much longer is she going to drag this out?
Satellite patent Sun Simulator. Look at all the patents on Sun Simulators and CubeSats. That there is just doing a quick search.
Yeah, just doing a quick search, there was literally none, except there are cube satellites, because those are real things. There are really cube satellites. There were patents for sun simulators, but they're not intended for use in any way that you're concluding and that you're misinterpreting and misrepresenting it as.
This has been going on like since the 1960s, before Boeing Sun Simulator.
And there was 2 links there. One of them was to ResearchGate, and that was the only link with anything on it. The rest of these are satellite link simulation. That's an advertisement. Satellite simulator, that's an advertisement.
There's why do we need a Sun Simulator? Sun Simulators in Germany, and on it goes.
That is a quick Google search of search results is not evidence of anything.
And this is all part of this whole
Okay, so here we have just a kind of a bobo picture of the Sun Simulator. Okay, so here we have our Sun. This is the device manufactured by Bausch & Lomb and Lockheed Martin. So basically what it does is takes our Sun that has moved far away from the orbit where the Sun's rays and heat no longer give valuable, stuff towards the Earth. Is it's moved far away outside an elliptical orbit, who knows? Or maybe another planet has passed in front of it and stole its thunder. Who knows the reason why they would put up a Sun Simulator, but everyone's noticing that what's in the sky right now isn't the same as the yellow sun you remember. It burns white, it burns hotter, and no one wants to go out in the sun anymore. How it's not torching all the plant life yet is beyond me. Maybe they're spraying something within the chemtrails that's keeping the plants alive. Some type of chlorophyll, or who knows. But anyway, this is the sun. The sun's rays projecting into this like cathode ray tube. Well, it has this receiver here, and this cathode ray tube that projects. It enhances the sun's rays and projects them on, like, people think it's a spinning glass center. Some people say it's round, some people say it's square. I think that's when sometimes with certain cameras, when you point the camera at what we think is the sun, you're getting this outside lens array, but sometimes you get that black center, and sometimes it looks like it's spinning. I think that's what that is right there. It's basically the mirror that reflects.
No, it's not. It creates all this hype and tons of clickbait so you can get lots of views on your channel and try to get ad revenue from getting people, luring people in and showing them a bunch of evidence of absolutely nothing.
The cathode.
That's easily faked. Easily faked in video editing. Let me show you how I did it.
Rays tubes and then spins them in a high-speed rate, so it's sending pulsated rays across this lens array. Excuse me. I didn't mean to do that. It's sending pulsated rays across this lens array, and then it projects down to the Earth. And
is it? Is it, though? Is it really, though? Or is this all just your little drawing here? Like, where is your evidence of any of this? You have no evidence to make any of these claims. It's just, or what? Your drawing, there you have it, folks. That drawing is conclusive evidence. It's been proven. There it is. Case closed. Proof positive. The Earth is flat. The sun is fake. And it's a directed energy. It's proof of directed energy weapons right here, being used to start the fires and to create these hurricanes.
It's like a sun. Now, what I'm about to show you is a sunset video taken at about 500 feet with my drone. I think I get a reflection of this, the cathode. At a point, you're going to see the lens flares pointing down. You're going to see a red lens flare, blue lens flare. You might even see some patterns in the lens flares.
So again, my name is Cullen Smith. This is Lifting the Veil. You can find all of my full books, presentations, videos, films, articles, posts at patreon.com/liftingtheveil. And there is also a ton of exclusive content, and I will leave the cited reference links in the description down below. So you can check that out for all of my full content, and I will see you guys in the next video. I rely solely on word of mouth, and the recommended algorithms are not recommending any of my videos or films anymore. My channel has literally been completely restricted, so I rely on your help by sharing my work around if you appreciate it, and leave me your comments. I definitely want to know what you have to share and what you have to think about all of this stuff, and I will see you in the next video.